Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at Etrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Swagman Chinook platform style 2-bike bike rack on a 2020 Tiffin Wayfarer. Adding a bike rack to your RV is a great way to actually explore the campsite or just kind of tour around the country and be able to see it pedaling around and not having to just be in the RV. So adding that bike rack will allow you to carry 2 bikes with this particular bike rack. And this is going to be a great style. This is a frame mount, so meaning it actually secures around the frame. And you can see as I wobble the whole bike rack itself moves, but the bike is rather secure. And that's really what you want as far as peace of mind. When you're going down the road, you don't want to have to think about your bikes not being secure on the bike rack. There's actually 3 points of contact, and that's something that's really nice about this particular bike rack. You have a nice cradle here, which is going to allow for a bunch of different widths of tires. So whether it be your road bike similar to this or even a mountain bike with some wider tires, this should handle it pretty well. Now your fat tires, not so much because the cradles are a little bit narrow, but you can see that's going to hold that in place, and it also straps down. It's got a little rubber cushion here so it's not going to scratch the wheels, and you can see it just ratchets tight so you know that it's actually tightening up. And we have that similar strap on the front as well. Now your frame attachment point is also coated here, so that's going to keep the frame from getting scratched. Now I don't recommend this frame style with a carbon fiber frame, as it can actually put pressure on that carbon frame and crack it or distort it, but for generally everything else it should be fine. And in a lot of your odd shaped frame bikes or your women's bikes, you can actually adjust this pretty easily by just simply moving the button. So I'm going to move this top one here, but you can see it's also got the same ratcheting effect. So as I tighten down, I can audibly hear and know that it's cranking down. So pretty easy. Once you're in place, you can actually lock this. It has a single key that not only works here, but it also works on the included anti-rattle bolt. So that's pretty cool. It's going to stay locked in place. Your bike's not going to go anywhere, and neither is the bike rack. So to get this bike off, we're going to simply start by taking our wheel straps off. These are nice. They kind of drop out of the way. Some of your other bike racks, those kind of hang in the way, and you kind of have to fiddle with those to get the bike off. So you can see with 2 of the 3 points of contacts off, the wheel straps, the bike is still really secure until you take off this frame mount. So to get this off quickly, we can simply take our frame mounts and remove them here. And that's going to allow us to get our bike up and out of the way here and get to riding. So now that we have the bike off, let's get a quick few measurements, and that way we can kind of see how it actually interacts with our RV. So taking the measurement from the closest point of the rack itself to the point of the RV, we have 9 inches, so that's plenty of clearance. Even with some wider handlebars, that shouldn't be an issue with it making contact with the RV. Now overall, the distance added to the RV is going to be 24 inches. So just keep that in mind when you're backing up. Even though you may have a camera, you are adding 2 foot onto the back of your RV. Now as far as ground clearance, it's actually pretty good. It's going to be the same height as our hitch, and that's going to be coming in at right about 15.5 inches. So you really don't have to worry about this dropping down or making contact with anything while operating the vehicle. So if you're at the campsite and you have your bikes off and you just want to add a little bit of clearance, that's also a great feature of this. So you can actually lift this up, and this is going to tilt down. And then it also has a tilt up feature, so it's going to store it. And you can see that tucks pretty nice. So now we've actually reduced quite a bit of added length here. So it went from that 24 inches to right at about 13. So it gives you a little bit more space behind here, and it also sits really nice and tight here. You still have a decent amount of space to where it's not going to make contact, and overall it just works really well with this RV. Now another feature that this has that you may not really use with your RV, but if you plan on transferring this back and forth to your vehicle, it does have a tilting feature here, and that's really nice. You can actually leave your bike attached, and this can tilt down, and the bike's going to open that up. So if you have a hatchback, or if you just need to access anything in the back of your vehicle, you can leave the bike attached, tilt that down, and generally still gain access. So that's really nice if you do have to run some errands after a bike ride, or if you just store your helmet or your drinks back there. That's a great option. Now speaking of using this on your vehicle as well, You can see here that this fits in our 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, but it also has the ability to take the inner sleeves out, reducing it down to 1¼ inch. So if your vehicle is a smaller one that you tow around and you want to throw the bike rack on there, you can still do that. Or if your vehicle has a 2" by 2" receiver, it's going to work on there as well. And it does come with this anti-rattle hitch bolt that is locking. So this is going to be the same key that also locks our frame mounts, and that way it's all one key system. You can put this on your keychain, lock this in, and lock the bike down as well. So if you're looking for something to get 2 bikes around on the back of your RV, but also maybe still transfer it to a vehicle and have some nice locking features that come with a bike rack, this is going to be an awesome option. And truly, this style in general, it is a good peace of mind. When you put your bike in, you latch it down, lock it, you know it's going to be secure. You really don't have to worry about that falling off, and it's not going to be damaged in the process. Now, hopefully this helped decide if this is the bike rack for you.
This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway.
And that was a look at the Swagman Chinook 2-bike platform style bike rack on a 2020 Tiffin Wayfarer.